What's good? It's your boy One coming at you once again. This time I'm going to hit you guys with a little tutorial. I've been getting a lot of requests on how I do things, what kind of products I use, figures, everything you guys could think of. And I know I've been taking a minute on it, I'm sorry, but here it is. Okay, let's start off with the putty, okay? So basically I use Aves Epoxy Sculpt. Now this is really great stuff. I highly recommend it. You can go on the Aves website. It's AVES, so just look that up, Epoxy Sculpt. If you guys don't want to go on the website and you want to work on something like, say, today, go to Kmart, Walmart, Target, wherever, and pick up some Mighty Putty. You get 3 for $9.99. This stuff's pretty good. It hardens like rock. Only difference is it hardens in about 3 to 4 minutes, so you got to be fast, and you have to work piece by piece because you're not going to sculpt an overall figure in 3 to 4 minutes, obviously. I do use it pretty often because the problem with this is the epoxy sculpt, it hardens. It's a good thing. It gives you more sculpting time. It hardens in about 2 to 3 hours, and that's a good thing. But if you're doing a whole figure and if you want to continue working right away, you're going to smash your work along the process. So that's a problem. With the Mighty Putty, you can sculpt piece by piece. It'll harden in a few minutes, and you don't have to worry about going over it or smashing it. So that's one of the upsides to it. Anyway, you're also going to need yourself some sculpting tools. I use pens. I use everything. I use toothpicks. You can use pretty much whatever you want. Razors. I use everything here. Everything you see here to sculpt. Make sure you dip your product in water. Dip your tool in water, because you don't want the putty to stick to it, so it'll help prevent that. Anyway, okay, so you're going to need yourself some paints. I got all sorts of different paints. I got some Tamiya paints. I got some Citadel. My favorite is Model Masters. You can go on eBay. You can go to arts and crafts stores, pick up some Model Masters. I work with acrylics, strictly acrylics, because pretty much enamel paint it's very sticky. It's hard to work with as far as your brushes and cleaning. It's just more difficult. Plus, you can't paint over soft rubber. It'll never dry. It'll never dry. So I recommend Model Master paints. Those are my favorite to work with. Acrylic paints, of course, again, and they're about $3 a bottle. Kind of pricey, but you can go on eBay and get yourself a good 10-pack for $20-something. You get to pick all the colors. That's how I get mine most of the time. I like to work with a lot of flesh tones, browns, and so you're always going to need those colors. But pretty much get the reds, the blues, the whites, the blacks, all your basic colors. Get yourself some brushes. I should keep them cleaner, but I love these brushes. My little detail brushes. I don't know if you see how fine that is. That's for painting eyelids, eyeballs, whatever, Anyway, so yeah, let me just give you guys a quick look at my drawer. This is all my weapons. This stuff isn't all bought overnight, guys. It took me a while to build my stuff, my collection up of everything. Plus, I have a little son. I buy him toys all the time, and a lot of times he can't play with the little weapons. Plus, he loses them, so I confiscate them. I won't lie. Right here is all my little G.I. Joe accessories. All sorts of different things. Little shovels I got. Everything you guys could think of. And these come in handy whenever you guys do your customs. They really come in handy. And right here is all my little mini hockey masks I work on. All different kinds. Brown, black. But anyway, you got your heads, assorted heads. I got tons of figures, man, like crazy. Here's just right here. Oh, shit. Fucking drawer. This is just some of my 3/4 inch figures. Some G.I. Joe, some WWE ones, Marvel, Universe figures, a couple of DC Universe figures. I got all sorts of different things in here, so make sure you collect those. I got the jackets popping, all sorts of different stuff, guys. So I build my collection. I got even more than that. Okay, here's more on the 7-inch scale, most of them. I like to work with these WWE Ruthless Aggression figures. They're excellent. The articulation's great. They're big. They're just, I love them. But yeah, I recommend you get these. They're about 11 bucks in the store though, you know. So, but you can go on eBay. Again, eBay you get everything on eBay. I got 6 of these figures for about $11. 6 figures. I mean, including shipping. So it was about almost $20. But for 6 of these guys, and that's crazy. And I've been winning a lot of bids like that. 20 bucks, you get like 5 or 6 of them. So, and I have a lot. I have more because I've been working on them, but you got all sorts of things. I recommend whenever you see, you know, go to swap meets. I go to swap meets. I get figures for $1 sometimes. I mean, I got even more in my closet. I got tons of these things. But even sometimes, you know, you go to the store and you buy the figures if you need it. But most of the time, I get them on eBay or swap meets. Okay, you guys are going to need yourself a Dremel or some sort of rotary tool. This will come in handy. I mean, very much. You definitely should get one. I recommend it for any kind of customizer. Any customizer will need one because this thing comes in handy in so many different ways, man. You can drill, you can sand, you can shape, you can carve. I mean, there's nothing you can't do with it. You know what I mean? I had myself a Dremel, but you know what I mean. I took it back. I actually like the plug-in kind because I hate charging batteries. I can't stand that. So I picked me up one of these. I actually got this at a swap meet for like 20 bucks. So it was like new. You know what I mean? You got all sorts of different shapes and you know, different tools you can use to sand and smooth. You know what I mean? But some of it can get pretty pricey. Like this one, for instance, right here is like 9 bucks. This is just, you know what I mean? You can make ball jointed heads or whatever. But anyway, yeah, so you're going to need yourself one of these. Okay, so I have several stages already in the works, so we'll go through it like this. I don't know if I mentioned to you guys I'm doing 14 Jason figures, but okay, let's start off with you're going to need yourself a base figure, okay? And today our base figure will be a WWE Ruthless Aggression figure. Again, the articulation is excellent, and I mean, he's 7 inches tall, and he's just realistic looking. I mean, I love these. These are my favorite right here. So you're going to find your base figure. Now you guys are going to notice that he's just so muscular, and that's when your Dremel comes in handy. You're going to stand him down, and you're going to pretty much make him scrawny. I mean, if you guys can see the difference, that's what I do. Okay? And don't worry about him being too skinny because you're going to build over that. You're going to sculpt over him. Usually I do it a lot cleaner than this, but it really doesn't matter because it's going to be covered up. Okay? Okay, so these putties are a 2-part mix. So you got your A and your B. So you're going to take an equal amount. Same goes with the Mighty Putty. You cut a piece off, it's already pretty much measured for you however long. Alright, so then you take your putty. This is the Mighty Putty, by the way. Stuff works just as good. And simply just apply it. Damn it, I dropped something. And make sure you sculpt around the joints. Don't sculpt over the joints unless you want them to permanently stay in one position. So you always keep that in mind. Sculpt around the joints. See, the stomach joint's a little difficult, so you're going to sculpt around it. Just like that. I know. Alright, so then you're going to sculpt around your joints, like I said. And your figure is only going to be as good as your detail. But don't beat yourself up about it, because if you think it looks good, then it looks good. Another good technique for making clothes, sculpting clothes, is to take your paintbrush tip, the other end, and just put the little creases in like this. However it goes. Yeah. You'll get better with time. You see how I'm creating creases? Yeah. No, you're not. It's my little son in the background playing with my stuff. But yeah, that's just another technique you can use. I mean, you know, this might not be as good as what I'm doing right now, but it's much better. See? Look at that. Okay, so here's what it could come out like. This is another one. It's my part 3. I'm still working on this one. You can tell that I use that paintbrush technique on the arms. Okay, and you notice the joint still right here. If you see a little bit of the figure, don't worry about it because we're going to paint over all of that. I generally don't sculpt over this. I just carve into it with the Dremel.